before 1 o'clock with sunny skies and 75 degrees. And now it's time for Community Comment. We go to the Daily Dodge TV studio. Here is Kevin Haugen.
Well, thank you very much, and good afternoon. Welcome into today's Community Comment. I'm your host, Kevin Haugen. It is my pleasure to welcome into the conversation our guest today, Juneau Fire Chief Ed Weiss. Chief, thank you so much for coming in today.
Well, thank you for letting me come in.
Now, this is your second time?
Second time, yes.
First time in the Daily Dodge TV studio.
So, yeah, a little different.
A little different format from the last time, but still, it's great to have you back in to talk about everything happening at the Juneau Fire Department. So we'll talk about upcoming community events, road safety, staffing. That's always a popular one with fire chiefs and police chiefs. So stick with us here on Community Comment. If you have any questions for the Juneau Fire Chief, the phone number to get into the program, Ninja, if you want to flash thank you, is 885-4446, or you can text 887-9595. You'll have to excuse me. I'm a little out of breath. I just ran to go get some water quick. So
it's okay.
I have to catch my breath here as we're starting Community Comment here. But again, we are with Juneau Fire Chief Ed Weiss here on our program this afternoon. And Chief, I was wanting to start off asking, I know something you talked a little bit the last time you were on our program, was just how you ended up as the chief of the Juneau Fire Department and how long you've been in that role. If you can just sort of give us a little bit of background on your time and how you ended up in that role.
Okay, I kind of not by choice, but kind of ended up, the former fire chief was retiring, and so the group wanted someone different, and that's how I ended up. So I've been chief for about a year and a half.
Okay.
So it's been a learning process from day one. So I got thrown into the fire, might say.
Yeah.
But, I started out in Juneau Fire Department as a probie, where I came off the street, didn't know nothing, and just worked my way up. There's a lot of training and just a lot of questions. And so,
Is it a role that you had sort of always envisioned yourself landing into at one day,
when
being
I
a chief?
first started, no. Never really thought I'd ever be a chief.
Yeah.
So I just thought, well, if I get to be an officer like lieutenant, no, I would be good with that. And things just kind of progressed, and I was like, oh, okay, guess I'm going to do this now.
What is maybe one of the biggest surprises or things that you didn't really anticipate having to learn how to do or pick up while you are chief of the Juneau Fire Department?
Being a politician. You got to deal with City Hall and dealing with the budgets and dealing with all the councilmen, women.
Right, yeah.
That's a little more of an art to learn how to
You have to be more of a public speaking, doing these types of things.
And to be more of a politician because you got, present your case.
Right. Yeah. Again, we are with Juneau Fire Chief Ed Weiss here on Community Comment. Again, the phone number for the program, 885-4446, or you can text 887-9595 to get on the program this afternoon. I feel like I finally caught my breath, so I don't feel like I'm trying to catch up here on our program today. But let's dive into our conversation here. I want to start off with highlighting some community events that are happening in the Juneau area. One of them, which we talked just very briefly about before we came on today, is a tribute ride. And Juneau's the last stop for that here this weekend.
It's tomorrow. It starts in Oakfield at 11 a.m. It goes to Brandon, Cambria, Fall River, and ends in Juneau. So it'll be ending in Juneau about 4:45. They figure to be in Juneau. So there'll be a brief ceremony to honor all the firefighters and military personnel and police officers that paid the ultimate sacrifice. And it's a fundraiser for this group that they donate a lot of money to, like the Wisconsin Youth Burn Camp and Badger Flights and numerous organizations that help veterans and firefighters with loss or mental health too.
Yeah, it's such a worthy cause. I feel like that's something that certainly is not, I don't feel like talked about enough in terms of the services that you guys and the career that you guys work in is mental health and having those resources available to members in the first responders. And you mentioned that this is happening in Juneau. What time is this taking place again?
They should arrive in Juneau around 4:45 p.m. So.
Gotcha. And is this sort of an event has taken place in years past? Is this something new that's coming to Juneau?
We've never held it, so this is the first time that we've our final stop, I should say. We've had the burn camp they have a ride. I know they made a stop in Juneau There's like a pit stop. So this is actually the first time. So
Awesome, fantastic.
Yeah.
Again, that's taking place tomorrow. Is there a specific spot that people should go to or line
if
up?
they want to watch, because the committee does encourage the public to come and watch. So they'll be coming in off of West Oak Grove Street, which is Highway 26 from the west off of S, and then they'll be going to South Main, taking a right on South Main by Quick Trip there, and then they'll go to Cross Street right to his fire station. So.
Fantastic. Now, is there some sort of like after parade sort of events taking place?
There's a brief ceremony to honor I think there's one firefighter from the Milwaukee Fire Department they're honoring, and otherwise all the past ones that paid the ultimate sacrifice. So it'll be a brief ceremony. So.
Fantastic. Again, that's an America tribute ride tomorrow, 4:45.
Yeah, about that time, yes.
About that time. So be sure to head out there with enough time to get a good
Right.
spot and be able to participate in that wonderful fundraiser that's supporting a great cause here. And is there any other community events or things happening in Juneau that we want to highlight?
Yeah, so we've been kind of busy all summer doing community events. We've been doing like Touch a Truck. We went to Watertown for lights and sirens, and we just last week we did one at the Juneau Rec Department had a Touch a Truck for the kids for rec, and Clearview had one. So we've been doing all that, and we've gone to the airport. As in June, went to the airport for their flying breakfast, and now we have in August 6th is National Night Out, which we do with the police department. That's a big thing for us, and Juneau EMS. We do all that, and then we go right into Dodge County Fair, because that is our it's our fire protection area, so it's a busy time for us.
Yeah, maybe that's an interesting, quick little side topic here to talk about. And because do you feel like there is an increase of call volumes when the fair comes to town here, or do you feel like it's normal? What does that time frame look like for your
It
department?
seems to be a more heightened time, but it seems the calls are kind of normal for us. Sometimes some years it gets real busy, and some years nothing at all. So
It's essentially just making sure that you guys are ready and prepared if something does happen.
Yeah, because and we're doing work out at the fair, so some of us are out at the fair during the day, and then you guys go back and forth, and so then we do all the fire protection for the demo derbies, tractor pulls, so we do all that, and then we have a fundraiser at the fair where we do a 50-50 draw during the demos, so it's kind of a busy time for us.
It's a busy month, it sounds like.
Yeah, it's very busy for us. So.
Yeah, and with all these events and things happening, and it's really also a great opportunity for people, the public, to come out and meet members of the fire department.
Fire department. It's a good PR for us, and we get to talk to the public, see what their concerns are, and it's kind of fun.
Yeah. I always feel like a topic that I feel like we always talk about with other fire departments and police departments is the career that you guys have gone into. You're dealing with people at points when sometimes they're at the lowest at their life.
It's their worst day that you could possibly have.
Yes. So having those interactions, I'm sure, is a great community building opportunity. So you can see these people in a different light and being able to put a name to the face and have a different idea of what people like you or others in that career field are and what they are like.
Yeah, and like all our firefighters are volunteers, so they're doing it. They're working their full-time job, and they're coming to do this on the side, which really makes it hard. It's a commitment.
Yeah, it's a lot to.
So
Yeah. And we'll talk more in just a couple minutes about those volunteer firefighters and staffing and where things are at right now with the Juneau Fire Department. But I want to sort of transition here to talk about an issue that has been kind of a little bit of a problem in Juneau, it sounds like, and that's road safety and road reminding motorists to pay attention to signs and speed limits. And what's the message that we want our listeners to know?
People take your time, slow down. I mean, it's that extra 5 minutes it gets to go to where you want to go is more important in your life.
Yeah. Do you feel like in the last couple, again, I don't feel like I keep bringing up like talking with other police departments or fire chiefs. I feel like the last couple of months have been a ridiculously busy time.
It has been busy for us. It seems like it's been busy, but I was looking back at our call volume and calls and just kind of looking at analytics of it, and it's just a time we're going through right now.
Yeah.
We go through times where we have a lot of car accidents, all of a sudden it just kind of slows down, which is good.
Yeah.
And I prefer it to be anything.
Right.
But it is what it is. And
Yeah, you mentioned that again. This upcoming month in August is going to be another really busy stretch
Yes.
for you. As the chief of the Juneau Fire Department, how do you manage just the workload for the volunteer firefighters? Because again, you mentioned that this is something that people come into. They have another job somewhere else. They're coming in to help out, but how do you keep up morale and help keep people energized and refreshed during these really difficult times?
The biggest thing is just I try to keep the positive attitude. Yeah. We've done this before. We'll keep doing it, and just keep everyone be positive that we're doing this for the community. We serve the community.
Yeah. And I'm sure we talked a little bit ago about these community events, and those are time commitments and take a bit of time for the members of your agency to participate in some of those community events. But I'm sure that's also a refueling opportunity.
It's very refueling.
Yeah.
It's rewarding. Because you get to talk to people and they say, "Oh, thank you," and makes you feel good. It's we do it because that's what we want to do.
Yeah. Quickly back on the topic of road safety, is it? Have you noticed if it's more of people not paying attention to speed limit signs or not stopping or follow? Because there's a couple spots in Juneau where there's one-way stops. It can be kind of confusing. Is it just
it's a lot of just not paying attention. I think a lot of it they're maybe texting or there's just basically inattentive driving.
Yeah, go ahead.
That's what it seems. It's just like, or they're in a hurry to get across that intersection. And, well, you don't make it.
Is this something that you're having conversations with the Juneau Police Chief Dave Beal about and ways to help?
Because he's on the fire department, so he's aware of it.
Oh, so that's right.
So he's on the fire department with us. He's he's my captain, so he's aware of it, and we're all just trying to tell people just stay, take it easy, Is there that extra 5 minutes to get where you got to go?
Yeah. Is this something where you feel like, again, this is just throwing out an idea, not saying this is going to happen or not, but maybe having opportunity to have some sort of a seminar or some sort of workshop or meeting with the community to, remind them and highlight certain things that that are causing these issues in the city of Juneau?
Yeah, it's kind of something we're kind of looking at, just trying to do some, just PR things, just to.
To put out
to put
press
that
releases.
phone down, put down that phone. Don't text while driving and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's a simple reminders, but something that I feel like a lot of people can kind of forget as they're driving, and especially in a community like Juneau, it's city driving. It's you're going slower, so you think you're safer, but there's more opportunities for pedestrians.
We cover a ton of girls that are out on the highway, which they're kind of forgetting stop signs or not knowing the passing rules and stuff. So it's causes some issues.
Yeah, exactly. So the message from the Juneau Fire Chief: slow down, put the cell phone down, pay attention to signs, and you get from point A to point B in a safe manner, and just protecting everyone else on the roadway is important.
Right. Yeah.
Fantastic. Again, we are joined with Juneau Fire Chief Ed Weiss here on Community Comment. If you have a question for the Fire Chief, you can call in at 885-4446 or text 887-9595 to get on the program this afternoon. One of the big topics here today that I want to highlight and talk about, and something that we routinely bring up with other fire chiefs and police department chiefs in our area, is staffing. You mentioned that the Juneau Fire Department is it all volunteer?
All volunteer.
So where is your staffing levels currently?
We are at 24 personnel, which we should be at 35. So we are low, and I have quite a few guys that are in their 50s, 60s already. So they're not making the calls. And everyone's working. I work a third shift job. Actually, I work in the city of Juneau, which helps, but I'm around during the day, which helps too, because everyone's working out of town. It's a bedroom community, and so we actually teamed up with Horicon and Burnett Fire Department to help out. We're helping each other out with calls as an automatic mutual aid. So that's kind of a new thing, but we still need new members to take the call.
How do you go about promoting or recruiting people to
we've been putting out flyers and just talking to people and just let them, hey, if you're interested, go get an application at City Hall, and we pay for the training. It's all paid for, so, and then you just go from there.
Yeah. What does that training entail? Is it you go to some sort of class and get some sort of certification?
Yes, you go to Marine Park. You're sending to Marine Park. They have the fire service class, and it's a year-long class. So you end up going through these different stages. Hopefully, you end up with Fire 1 certificate when you're done. You can state qualify, go through the state test, and qualify as a state firefighter, certified 1, and then you go from there. And that's where basically I did. And I went into Fire 2, and then I took my fire officer class, and it's education.
Is there like follow-up classes then that are required?
Yeah, a lot of times we go to seminars. You can go to different classes because a lot of departments have other training opportunities that, like with car extrication or with engine operations. They'll have the Dodge County Fire Associations had a class in this last spring, on fire and engine operations as far as how to use an engine properly and the different tactics you can use it for.
Right. You mentioned currently right now we have 24 members on staff, volunteer firefighters. Normally it's operating around 35
we can have up to 35 members.
Gotcha.
Yes.
In your time with the Juneau Fire Department, is this the lowest that it's been?
This is the lowest that we've been.
Yeah,
So we've always been around 28, 30, so.
Yeah, it's been, so it's,
You're right.
would you say right now, is it a challenge to bring together a big enough crew to respond to calls and be able to assist?
We're still getting to four people that the NFPA wants us to have.
Yeah.
But there's times that we're down to 3 or 2 or, it just depends on, especially during the day. That's when our time is really, that's why we did the automatic mutual aid to help to make sure we have the numbers up. And, it helps our partners, our community, our area fire departments.
Sure.
We're all helping each other out.
Yeah.
So it's.
Yeah, I feel like it's a challenge, especially for volunteer fire departments,
Yes.
to get people in the door just because of that volunteer nature. It's a gigantic time commitment.
And it seems like volunteerism is down in the United States. Yeah. And we're not the only group suffering. There's Lions and all these other groups, service groups are suffering for volunteers too. So, it's just the way it is. I mean, it's just I guess a sign of the times. I guess. I hate to say it, but
yeah. So it's. Do you feel like there is other avenues that you can search through, like going to job fairs and other
and
opportunities?
that's something that we're doing. And a lot of these community events, we're actually handing out flyers while we're doing the touch the truck. The parents, the kids are there. We take the parents, trying, hey, here's a flyer.
Yeah, hey, that sort of ties into those communities.
Right.
It shows that this is something that could be an interest of a kid that they don't know.
Or a kid, or maybe that someone's going through high school, that, hey, you want to become a firefighter, a career firefighter. We've had a few that became career firefighters. They started in Juneau and they moved on. So it's a good way to get some experience. And I'm more happy to train you. And if you want to take it as a career, I'm more than willing to help you get along with it.
Is it possible to have a career in firefighting at the Juneau Fire Department, or is it something that
it's pretty much volunteer? So we just don't have the call volume. Like Beaver Dam has quite the call volume.
Yeah.
It's bigger community, so it's,
sure. Yeah, that makes sense. Is there information online on like a city website or social media that people can go to if they want to reach out or get more information?
Yeah, it should be on the city webpage. I believe there's some that's on as far as how to get an application, and I know we have it posted at City Hall. And if you know a Juneau firefighter, just contact them. We'll direct you in the right spot.
Gotcha. Fantastic. Chief, as somebody who's been in the firefighting career field for a very long time, somebody who's been very closely involved with the Juneau Fire Department, what is your spiel or elevator pitch to people who are not sure if they're interested, maybe have some interest in becoming a firefighter, but not sure if they want to pull that trigger yet? What would you encourage or tell them to finally make that decision and say, yes, this is something that you want to pursue?
Basically, I'll say we become your second family. Yeah. We treat each other like family. We're all in it together, and we get to know each other's personal life as much as possible. But we treat each other like family. Yeah. We are your second family, basically. So
spend a lot of time together.
And your family becomes part of our family.
Yeah, sure.
Your spouse, your kids, we all hang out together.
It's really a tight knit.
We try to become a tight knit. We try to be a tight knit community group. So
fantastic. Now, being a volunteer firefighter organization, how do you balance having a job elsewhere and coming in and having? Is it something that you have to set aside a mental? I always find that fascinating because it is a tough thing for any volunteer firefighter to do, to balance having a full-time job, having a family, doing this volunteer work. How do you make that work?
Well, you have to sometimes set aside. And once in a while, as chief, I have to set aside, okay, I just have to stop today. It's time to, and I always got to remember, just something I always say, it's God, family, fire department. So that's kind of, I have to keep that in mind. It's,
Did you put that on a sign up at the fire?
You're right.
department?
Yeah. That's what it comes down to. It's so
Great.
You have to take care of your family first.
Yeah. Now, we talked a moment about trainings and getting set up and ready to become a volunteer firefighter. Is there agency trainings that the fire department does throughout the course of a year with other agencies?
We have like first Monday of the month we have our monthly training. So we do certain topics, and a lot of times we'll train with other, like with Horicon or Burnett at certain with like car accidents or something. So we kind of know each other's equipment, and so we kind of know each other better. So it's we do our agency training because I think in June we were here in BRAM. They were doing a target hazard. We came over because that was part of the Mavis cards. So we came in. So we brought our equipment that they needed for that call. So we all kind of know how things work. And
I feel like too something that's kind of important to highlight here quickly is just I feel like there is great, and you had mentioned this a couple of times, but great collaboration between area fire departments throughout the county. I feel like there's been a really strong push. I don't know if it had always been that case, but it definitely seems like more lately, just to get everybody involved and communicating on the same page.
Yeah, it's always been there, but now because I don't remember, probably 2010 we went to Mavis, which is mutual aid box alarm system. So it's gotten a little bit more where we don't take the whole department out, we take 20%, one apparatus out of the department, and so we get more departments involved in it. And that's actually statewide, so that if we have an incident that's getting out of a bigger incident, you can call our counties in, interdivisionals, so we get more help, or even out of state, because Illinois has the same system. Northern Illinois has the same system, so we can actually call them for equipment too if we have to.
Yeah.
So it's
fantastic. Now, when it comes to equipment at the fire department there in Juneau, how is your current apparatus? Do you feel like it needs to be updated, or is it a good state right now?
Right now, we could use a new engine. We got one that's 35 years old, and that's the fight that we all have every year. But we also, our aerial, it's going into for refurbishment this by October this fall, because Horicon's aerial's out right now for refurbishment, so we're holding off till we get ours done, so theirs is back, so we can keep covered, our community can get covered with an aerial. So yeah, it's a fight with City Hall. I'll admit it's a fight. That you need this you need this, and
I'm sure it's a tough dialogue to have because again, money is always tight.
It's always tight. Budgets are always tight because I'm going through budget process right now, and they gave me say, you need to keep a zero increase. I'm like, well, how am I going to do that? Everything keeps costing more with inflation and everything going to
especially when equipment you see it, like the engine you meant 35-year and stuff. You see it because you're working on it on a day-to-day basis, so you can see what needs to be upgraded and changed.
And a new engine, you're talking close to $1 million.
Yeah.
It's a big, for us volunteer fire department, it's a big bill to pay.
Yeah. Do you find maybe looking at like grant opportunities or other fundraising opportunities to help sort of close that gap? Yeah, because
like our fundraising that actually buys a lot of the smaller equipment, or that also pays for training that we can have. That's what we do for fundraising. It goes for equipment that we just go, like the smaller equipment like nozzles or stuff. Yeah. Or stuff that we feel we need to have that the city's not going to pay for, and so that helps pay, which helps keep us going. Other than that, it's just a constant battle. It's a battle, but we're getting through it. So
fantastic. Again, we were chatting with Juneau Fire Chief Ed Weiss here on Community Comment. Only a few minutes left here on today's program. With that time, I just want to give the Chief one more opportunity to highlight the American Tribute Ride coming to the community tomorrow. What's all the information that our listeners need to know?
Yeah, it's just, if you want to watch it, watch as they come into town, and just be on West Oak Grove Street or in South Main. You'll be able to watch it. I think there's about 50, 60 bikes and some cars coming along, so that'd be their ride. And and just enjoy it. It's actually fun to watch come in. I've seen one come in. It's actually neat to see, and and then also, like I said, in September we have the 9/11 parade coming up too. So that's coming up. So
fantastic. And I believe you mentioned 4:45 is kind of
4:45, 4:45.
Yeah, so plan accordingly to get a good spot.
I'd probably be there by 4:30. I would say by 4:30 be there. If you want to watch it. So
fantastic. Well, on that note, I want to thank our guests today on Community Comment. Again, we are joined with Juneau Fire Chief Ed Weiss. Chief, thank you so much for coming in today.
Thank you for allowing me to come on. So
absolutely, and that will do it for today's Community Comment.
The Wisconsin